All right, looks like we're just waiting on Joyce to join the meeting.
Sounds good.
All right, I just texted Joyce, just waiting for a response. All right, she's logging in now. Al, it looks like Joyce is having issues logging on. Do we want to start the meeting and continue with the meeting until she gets access?
Absolutely.
All right, good evening, everyone. Before we start the meeting, I do have an introduction to this remote meeting. This open meeting of the Mendon Board of Health is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's updated guidance on holding meetings pursuant to the act extending certain COVID-19 measures that was signed into law on June 16, 2021. This act includes an extension until March 31st, 2023 of the remote meeting provisions of his March 12, 2020 executive order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the Mendon Board of Health is convening by video telephone conference as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. This meeting will feature public comment. With that being said, the time is now 6:36, and I hand it over to the Board of Health Chairman, Alan Greenberg.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you everyone for joining this evening. Please raise your hand to get Jack's attention, and it'll give everybody an opportunity to speak so that we can clearly hear everyone and what they have to say. First agenda item is animal inspector vacancy with Danielle Edmonds. I see she's on, so you're up.
Hi, Alan and everyone else present. Yeah, I was informed that the position was emptied. I have been filling that position in the interim under the grant that helps provide services to the town of Mendon via the Blackstone Valley Coalition. So I've been enjoying my time, filling in that position, and I was looking to officially be serving in that position outside of my purview of the grant. So I wanted to come before the board tonight to offer my services.
Anyone like to comment? All right, I will. Danielle, thank you very much. We appreciate everything that you've done for us in the past, and we've obviously enjoyed our working relationship with you and the different things that you bring to the table, and we look forward to a future with you. I would assume that in order to hire you as an employee, the board members probably have to have a brief discussion and then let human relations know what we're going to do, and then let you know, just to keep everything official. But at this time, what I'll say is I don't see any reason why our relationship can't continue to grow. And I appreciate, your interest in everything that you've put into it. I just want to make sure that I follow the correct procedural aspect of the job. Jack, anything to add?
I did reach out to Shelley and Kim about the avenue we need to go. Danielle has already been appointed by the state to be our animal inspector for the town of Mendon. I'm assuming it's just another reappointment by the Board of Health to appoint her again. But as a matter of fact, I just wanted to confirm with HR if we need to post it or if we just reappoint Danielle as a matter of fact. So I'm just waiting to hear back from Shelley on that aspect.
All right. Tom Fickner, I believe you're out there somewhere.
Yes, I'm out here in audio land only. Unfortunately, I don't have access to video PC.
I miss your mug.
What's that?
I miss seeing your mug.
Well, why, thank you very much. I just wanted to say I'm in full support of Danielle coming on board as our animal inspector. She's done a very good job as our health agent. If she brings the same talents to the animal inspector side of things that she has to the health agent side of things, I think it's a win for the Board of Health. So that's great, Danielle. Thank you very much for wanting to step up and officially join in the role. Mr. Chairman?
Oh, thank you. So I guess at this time with Joyce not on the line, and Jack awaiting the final procedural aspects of what we need to do, I believe we've covered that, topic. And we can, if anybody else has a comment, if not, we can move on to topic number 2. I will say one more thing to Danielle Edmonds. I thought about our conversation that we had yesterday in the office, unrelated to Board of Health. And if you have an opportunity, reach out to me. I think I might have a few prospects for you that will be coming down the pike in the next maybe year or 18 months.
Thank you, Alan. I really, really appreciate that. And also thank you, Tom, for the kind words. It really has been. I really do enjoy working for Mendon. It's been awesome, and yeah, I would love to fill that position. And again, thank you, Alan. I will be reaching out on the side for sure.
Thank you. All right, Jack. I think unless I don't see any action from our panel that's dialed in tonight, so we can go to the second item on the agenda, 19 Neck Hill Road, follow-up on the rooster noise nuisance.
Yes, we're at 19 Neck Hill Road. We have received complaints about a rooster constantly crowing very early in the morning. The Board of Health has drafted a letter, and it was signed by Joyce, one of the Board of Health board members. This letter was sent with one of our health agents, Daniel Markman, on Tuesday, January 10th, who Daniels did speak with the resident Jose Canero about the issue. Jose explained to Dan that the rooster is used to produce future chickens as they are raised for consumption, but is considering working on fixing the noise issue. Today, I reached out to Mr. Green to get his aspects of it. He said the last time that he did hear the rooster was on Sunday, January 15th, but nothing since then.
All right, well, that sounds like some positive action is being taken. I respect the gentleman's right to have the rooster and what he's trying to do. However, if he follows the suggestions to keep the rooster quiet, it'll definitely bring more harmony to the neighborhood, and that neighborhood has faced a lot of disharmony with the roosters. So I guess maybe a follow-up in a week with Mr. Green.
Okay.
That might give us a good indication as to whether or not the homeowner at 19 Neck Hill Road has corrected the situation, and if not, we'll need to go the next step.
Okay.
Tom?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just simply ask, do we have anybody on the call that is a neighbor of this experiencing this problem? I would just want to ask how have things been in the last few days?
Ann Mazzarelli has her hand raised. Go ahead, Ann.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm speaking for Dick and Terry. They couldn't make the call today, but I personally don't. I'm not hearing it early in the morning, and that's because I live on the other side. I don't, the noise is coming from the back of their house, which is back of number 19, which is very close to Dick and Terry's house. So that's why I'm not hearing it. But they wanted me to ask what the timeline was for this resident to build the insulated structure for the rooster. Is that still in progress? I think you had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that, Alan, that somebody was going to approach them about making the structure more insulated so that the noise wouldn't be as loud.
Based on what Jack reported, talking with Daniel rather, it sounds as though the gentleman has been made aware and is in the process of taking care of soundproofing and darkening the shelter where the rooster is housed. And as you heard, I told Jack kind of a 5-day follow-up. So Jack will reach out to Mr. Green at that time and see what the situation is. And if we haven't seen any relief, then we'll have to take it up a notch. So I'm saying 5 days from today. Let's call it 7 days where we have a weekend involved. So that would be next Wednesday. Jack will reach out and see if the neighbors have gotten relief. If they've gotten relief, then we know that he's done what he's supposed to do. If not, we will take it up a notch as we have in the past so that everybody can live in harmony.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the update. I'll let them know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any
Thank
other
you, Ann.
comments on this topic? All right, Jack, let's take it to the third item on the agenda, Green Team junk removal. And I believe Mr. Cullen is on the line, so I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'd like to thank the board for inviting me tonight to discuss what National Grid and I do with our sustainability events. I would also like to thank State Representative Brian Murray, who's in attendance of this meeting as well, and also Steve Jeslitz from National Grid. So my name is Fred Cullen. I own Green Team Junk Removal. We're a junk removal company based out of Holliston, Massachusetts. About a year and a half ago, our company partnered with Mass Save and Eversource and National Grid, and we do community events throughout the Commonwealth. And at these events, we'll go ahead and we'll set up stations where Green Team Junk Removal would collect electronics, tires, various different items, also TVs, monitors, AC windows, and fax machines. We'll also have Habitat for Humanity there as well. At the event, Habitat will actually collect dining room sets, end tables, bureaus, and nightstands, and desks for their restores to raise money for affordable housing. Another vendor that takes part of these events is Black Earth Compost. They come out, and what they'll do is they'll educate the public on composting to see if we can go ahead and sign up some of the residents for composting. And then we have National Grid at these events. What they'll go ahead and do is they have a free dehumidifier drop-off, and where the constituent will be able to bring the dehumidifiers down. They'll collect them, and the constituent will receive a $30 rebate for turning in a dehumidifier. And if they go ahead and purchase another Energy Star dehumidifier, they would receive an additional $30 for buying a new one. But Steve will talk more about what National Grid does, just giving you a little bit of an overview about the program. So last year, we did our first full year, and I held 30 events throughout the Commonwealth, and that was for 72 towns. And we did majority of all the towns around you. So like Uxbridge, Millville, Blackstone, Bellingham. And I did reach out to Rep Murray last year to hold an event. And unfortunately, just due to circumstances, I had covered my schedule very fast, and I wasn't able to schedule an event in your area last year. So we work with a lot of the legislators on these events to push sustainability, to push just recycling in general. So I thought, I brought the idea to Jack because I also want to thank the board as well. I handle your mattress pickup for the town. So we come around and we do the curbside mattress and we bring them to be recycled. So I said to Jack, hey, we do this excellent program where my company and the utilities, we team up and we bring these events to the community. Would you be interested? So obviously I sent the email, sent everything over, and this is where we are. So I would like to go ahead and introduce Steve from National Grid to talk about what National Grid does at these events. Steve?
Hi, thanks so much, Fred. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Thumbs up, you can hear me? Okay, great, thanks. My name is Steve Jaslowicz. I'm a senior program manager at National Grid, and my job is to implement the Mass Save residential energy efficiency programs, which includes the dehumidifier recycling program. I also want to note on the call today is Taylor Bennett, who's a colleague of mine at National Grid. She recently started. She will be coordinating these recycling events in 2023. So she's here just to get a feel of these type of meetings. So again, yes, and thanks Representative Murray and the board today for having us here to talk about our programs a little bit. So our role in Fred's recycling events, as you mentioned, is to support the National Grid electric company customers in your community through our dehumidifier recycling event, as well as educate customers on additional energy saving programs that they may be able to take advantage of through Mass Save. As Fred mentioned, for the dehumidifiers, there's a $30 rebate customers can receive for recycling an old inefficient dehumidifier. They can bring it down to the event. If that's the only thing that they're recycling at the event, they don't have to pay any kind of fee to get in or anything like that. They can just come in and drop off their dehumidifier for free. Once they're on, once they're there and they drop off the dehumidifier, they complete some paperwork on site. We have a table set up where customers can fill out a form with their National Grid electric account number and some other information. The form is then taken back to our rebate processing center and is validated just to make sure that the customer is actually one of our customers. Then the incentive, that the rebate is sent to the customer in the form of a prepaid card. So they don't get the incentive at the event. It comes to them a few weeks later after everything's validated. As Fred mentioned, customers can also go and buy a new dehumidifier at a store, and they're also eligible for $30 off a new Energy Star dehumidifier. So it's really a great deal, it's really like $60 and they can upgrade their dehumidifier to a new energy efficient model. We get the old energy efficient models off the grid, and we help save electricity. So it's a great program. I want to mention too that all the dehumidifiers are recycled according to EPA standards. So every piece is taken apart, documented. All the refrigerants are captured. Everything's done in a very documented and a thorough way. So customers can feel confident that it's getting done the right way. Another part of what we do there is the marketing. We provide, we send a mail or a postcard to all the residents in the town explaining the event to them, both the dehumidifier recycling. Thank you, Fred, for holding up the example there. It provides the contact information for the green team. So if people have questions about what they can recycle, also a general list of the items that are recycled or any special things that are going on there. And we can also include logos on the back, so we can have the town seal, the representatives who help us with these events, the vendors who are present, any local organizations who may want to be part of the event. We can include those logos. Aside from the postcard, we also provide digital images that can be used for web and social media, similar kind of things, so you can help promote the event. At the event, we have Mass Save representatives who can explain about our other programs, including our home energy assessments, where someone can come into your home, recommend weatherization or other things you might be able to do to save energy in your home, and our community action programs, for income eligible folks and programs that we offer them as well. So it's a great way for us to get people down there to recycle, save energy immediately, and look at other programs that we offer. So thanks for a minute to talk about it. And we really appreciate the town of Mendon's commitment to energy efficiency and sustainability.
Thank you, Steve. Now, one of the things, oh no, okay. So when it comes to us on this program, what I really like is we're actually able to give the constituent an affordable way to have their items recycled. So one of the items last year that we were able to have recycled correctly were mattresses and box springs. We knew the law was coming out, and I was able to establish relationships with the vendors ahead of time. So for the mattress and the box springs, we were actually charging $35 per mattress per box spring. And the constituents at the towns that we held the events in had no problem with that. They absolutely loved that price. They couldn't believe that it wasn't more. Now with tires, we take passenger size tires and light tires, $10 each. Even though the town might offer a cheaper rate for tires, we get a ton at these events. TVs are 20, the monitors are 20. Window ACs, we do for $5 an AC, okay? And we get a ton of ACs. And so that's really where our price ranges are. There is a $15 card fee that if you're coming to bring down any item that's not a dehumidifier, that if you're not donating food to the food pantry, or if you're not, so you don't get charged a $15 card fee if you're making donations to a food pantry, if you have a dehumidifier, if you're bringing down clothes to be donated, or textile recycling, okay? If you're bringing down any other items, you would get charged the $15 card fee. That card fee goes ahead and helps, fund the events, because we still have to pay our employees. We also go ahead and give some of the money to Habitat for Humanity, and also Black Earth Composting, so they're able to pay their people to be out here as well. So it's a really good community event. Community your size in Mendon, probably I would expect at least 200 cars. I did talk to Rep Murray, and I had suggested if the board was open to it, we do this with multiple towns. So we were thinking maybe a Hopedale Mendon event, bring Hopedale in on it, host it in Mendon, if you guys were okay with that, okay? I don't want to offend the board in any way. If you want to just do Mendon, I'm completely open to that as well. But if we could do Mendon and Hopedale and host the event in Mendon, I think it would be amazing. Also, I personally would like to invite any Mendon organization, if it comes to sustainability, if they have a sustainability club, or if there's a high school organization that would love to be part of this, we're able to give them, some free advertising on our postcards and let them be part of the event to show the community what they're doing. I know Rep Murray had suggested that if we do an event down this way, Planet Aid, if we could reach out to Planet Aid to see if they could be part of that. And I will definitely go ahead and see if they could be a partner. I'm pretty sure they will have no problem with that as well, to collect clothes. Now, this event is actually would be no cost to the town, which is good, because everything is really covered in the $15 card fee. It does cover disposal too, of how, because what I'll do is I'll bring in a trailer. So we'll bringing in a large trailer. We normally drop it the night before, and then we'll have a couple 26-foot trucks come. Our events, they range anywhere from 200 cars to 500 cars. We did Hopkinton, and the numbers came back in Hopkinton that 1 out of every 18th household showed up, which is pretty impressive. Another, Bellingham did really well. Bellingham and Blackstone. Mendon and Uxbridge was a sleeper. They did really well. So I think the smaller towns around your area are going to do really well. I'm not really sure how your recycling center is set up, but for a lot of the towns that might not have a lot of options, these events are really good for. And I've talked enough, so I'm pretty sure you guys are bored listening to me. So if you guys have any questions, I'd definitely help you out. Yes, Alan.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it and appreciate your enthusiasm. We definitely, I can say I would be interested. I'm sure my board members will be on board. We do try to hold an annual hazardous waste day where we take care of, motor oil, stains, pool chemicals, fertilizers, and things like that. But as far as these other items, the more things that we can get recycled, the better.
Yes.
I also believe that working with Hopedale would not be a problem on our side by any means. We've tried to team up with them, Board of Health, and we're working with them right now to sort of combine some of our services where we might only need a part-timer and they need a part-timer, and it gives someone a full-time position. So we do have a working relationship with the town of Hopedale. We have a working relationship with the town of Uxbridge. So very open to teaming up with our neighboring towns to
Awesome.
make this, successful. Trying to think. Is there a couple questions?
Yes.
One would be, have you found a time of year that is best for an event like this?
Yes. You're going to go pretty much April and May to like the third week of June. Then it kind of dies out in end of June to July. And then the events were very successful in the middle of August straight through to Thanksgiving. I got to tell you, Mr. Greenberg, the fact that these cards go to every household, the market is pretty impressive. And it really attracts a lot of people down. Rep Murray has definitely, his colleagues have spoken to him regarding of how the turnouts have been, and they've been very impressive numbers with these events. I would love to do a Mendon Hopedale event around September, if I was being completely transparent. Rep Murray, would you have anything to say?
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you for having us here. I think this is a great thing, and would be, for the community. As Fred said, I was unable to put one together in Milford for a number of reasons, but many of my colleagues have had these in their districts, and they work very, very well. It's kind of a, a one-stop shopping in terms of getting rid of a lot of undesirable elements, as well as learning about many energy-saving features and benefits, as you heard from Mass Save. So I think the benefits to the community are great. I know lots of times folks who have these materials, whether they're tires, mattresses, if they can't get rid of them, sometimes you just see them on the side of the road somewhere or thrown in the woods somewhere. So I think the more of these kinds of programs that we can make available, the better benefit, really, I think, to the full community. So, in terms of the time frame, I think Fred is right. Either spring or fall is generally the time when folks, are kind of looking to, to clean things out and kind of maybe do some things over. I'm not sure where the board would consider a location, whether Mendon, has a spot. If you're, looking at, for example, the parking lot at Clough School, or if you have other locations in town. But I think that's something that the board needs to consider in terms of a possible location and staging area for all of the different setups that Fred is going to bring to the town.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Alan. Alan, I cannot hear you. Are you muted?
Sorry about that. Rep Murray, if I knew you were going to be on, I would have wore my Stonehill College t-shirt, so I apologize. Yeah, normally our hazardous waste day we do at the highway barn. I think if we were to consider And again, more than interested in including Hopedale with it. Depending upon scheduling and things like that, maybe the Misco Hill School would be a good site where not too far up the hill from Hopedale.
Yep.
Probably a pretty good traffic pattern. We would just have to consider, what activities might be going on in the school, in September on a weekend day. I'm assuming you guys do this on the weekends.
Yes, just so you're aware, Mr. Greenberg, we can also do Sundays. So we've done Sunday events, and they're just as successful as Saturdays.
Okay, no, that's good to know. And again, I can only speak for myself at this point because we haven't discussed it, but
Yep.
I'm on board. And before I get Tom Fickner's comments on this, I would like to say to the representatives from National Grid, for a while now, when we've been talking about recycling, I've been on the board about 9 years now. Just something to think about for the future. It's something that I haven't been able to really do on my own or pursue due to my full-time job. But I would like to see somebody do something in the schools, especially the elementary schools. I've always kind of been of the thought that if you grow up with it, it's habit, it's normal. I didn't grow up with seatbelts, and I had to start wearing a seatbelt. I had to learn to wear a seatbelt. When I had children, seatbelts were standard operating procedure. So,
Yes.
In the future, if there was some way to get awareness in the schools during those elementary years, these kids are going to think about all these ways of recycling and all the things that they have to do, and it's going to be standard operating procedure for them. And they're going to pass that on to the next generations, and we won't have to work so hard at trying to do this, because again, it'll be habit for them. I'm going to like to hear from Tom Fickner, please.
Oh, hello, everyone. Brian, Fred, Steve, and others there. Thank you very much. Brian, great to hear your voice. Yeah, I like what I hear. It sounds like a great opportunity to expand recycling, to keep things moving. I know from our town's perspective, we do have down at the Highway Barn on Saturdays, the opportunity for people to dispose of certain items. But I think this is a good expansion of that ability, and I'd be on board as well for doing something as a multi-town type event with ourselves and Hopedale, for example. I think that'd be great. I would want to see if I could maybe understand just the pricing aspect a little bit. Fred, I think you had mentioned something about a $15 car fee.
So absolutely. Yep. So I'll give you an example. Okay. First off, you do not have to pay a car fee if you have a dehumidifier, if you're donating food to the food pantry, if you're donating clothes to the charity, and also textiles. Okay. There is a $15 car fee if you're coming down to donate furniture and electronics, right? If you have a TV, you still have to pay the $15 car fee and also a $20 charge for the TV. So it would be $35. It would be $20 per TV that they would bring down. Same thing for the mattresses. It would be $35 for the mattress plus the 15, so it would be $50. Our fees are considerably lower than a lot of other recycling companies that come out and do these events, especially at the churches. If you look at those events, they're charging almost $30 an item to come and donate. So here you could literally bring down as many laptops as you have, as many hard drives, as many power supplies. Printers and fax machines, those are $5. Cell phones, gaming, you could bring all that down for $15 and get rid of it. You can bring down 2 bureaus, if you have 2 nightstands, 2 pieces of furniture for $15 and get rid of it. So anything that that Habitat does not take, okay, we take with us and have disposed. So the town doesn't have to worry about, any. My number one rule is we show up with an empty parking lot, we leave with an empty parking lot. That's the number one rule. We don't leave anything behind. So the town will never have to worry about that. So we have the manpower and we have the resources to make sure that we'll be able to have whatever comes taken out and recycled properly. Any other questions regarding the pricing? Oh, Joyce.
Well, I did want to just in follow-up, Joyce, sorry for interrupting. So I am in agreement with the pricing levels. I think they're great. And I think it's, fantastic. $15, sounds like you can bring an unlimited amount of furniture and electronics. And so just from that standpoint, that's fantastic. And you touched on a very good point that it's nice to know that should somebody bring something down that doesn't exactly fall into a recycle category, it's still something you folks are willing to take off of the residents' hands, and so they don't have to worry about lugging something back to the home. That's great.
I will tell you this. The only thing that might change is the 15 might go to $20 per car just because of gas. We did it at a couple events last year and we still had no complaints. Haven't decided yet if for 2023, if I'm just going to implement it all the way around, or if I'm going to keep it where the towns that are closer to me are 15 and then the towns that are out further, if I have to, because we go out to Western Mass. So I'm being 100% transparent. So I don't want to throw any surprises on you. But if anything was to change, it would just go from 15 to 20. All the other changes would stay, just so you know.
Okay. And I know you mentioned that you're already doing mattress and box spring pickup in the town.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, outside of this event that we're talking about, these events that you hold, do you folks also provide curbside for other types of products if somebody were to call individually for things on an individual basis?
Absolutely. We handle bulk item service. We actually do it for the town of Shrewsbury right now. My operations manager, Justin Moran, he's on this call. He's been actually handling your mattress recycling, and he handles the bulk work as well for picking up for towns. So yes, we do that as well, like fridges, stoves, couches, we do it all.
Great. Okay, excellent. Okay, well, I think that wraps up my questions for now. But it sounds like a great opportunity for us. Thank you all for coming on board.
Yeah, Tom, if you want to email me, if you want to talk more about bulk service, I'd love to talk to you about that because I've been getting RFP contract requests from Medford and Lexington. So there's other towns that are looking to go away from the trash companies with their bulk. Joyce, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm the Board of Health member as well, and actually started the very first house-to-house recycling program in Massachusetts way back in the day. So I'm very excited about your program. And I'll just tell you one thing. I'm a quilter and I teach quilting. So I have lots and lots of fabric scraps.
Okay.
And I have always done different things with them in a crazy sense of, tying things together. But now that we can't put any kind of textiles, and I have a basket in my studio so that everybody can just put their scraps in now. What do you suggest about that? Because
absolutely,
I will have like a big trash bag in maybe 4 months.
When it comes to our textiles, we work with Black Earth Composting. They actually have a textile collection as well. But majority, do you know about CMRK in Northborough?
Yep.
Okay, Taylor, do you know Taylor over there? She handles the. Okay, they have great recycling when it comes to textiles. Now,
Okay,
one of the things, they obviously, they take it in and they would give you a percentage of cents. I think it's like 7, whatever they would quote you at, they would give you money for the return. And then, they would go ahead and, have the product recycled. Now, there's also other, local charities also that those types of scraps, right? That they look to
Right.
reuse well for smaller projects too. So I would love to see
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that you have, because I have other options too than just CMRK.
well, mostly because I am a quilter and will make quilts out of the smallest little blocks and stuff. Mostly it's like strips of fabric that you cut off and that kind of thing, you know, it would be something that wouldn't be used for much except to be ground up and used for,
Did it-
you know, pillow fill
Yeah,
or
then-
stuff like that.
Then it would be CMRK.
Okay, great, thanks.
If you want, I could definitely give you that. I could give you a person to contact over there.
That'd be great. Yeah,
All right, awesome. I could do that.
I just do want to make a
Okay.
point of fact that we do have CMRK recycling in the town of Mendon.
yes.
Good.
I am working closely with Taylor.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, okay, Jack. So that, you know, again, the fabric thing just is a new thing. And I make everybody put all we have a special bag in the studio, a trash bag and a fabric bag. So everybody, when they finish this up after they do all their project, they just throw it in there. But then I think to myself, well, where am I gonna throw it? You know?
Yes.
So that's great. Yeah. Got it.
Yes. Any other questions? Well, I thank you for having us. One, I got to apologize to you. This is the first interview I've done in a long time, so I'm definitely feeling I'm getting the cobwebs off of me. You know, so I'm sorry if I wasn't as fluent as I usually am. I am a little nervous. I will admit to that one, because I haven't done it in a few months. But I'm really excited to go ahead and do an event for your town. I really am. I think it would be a slam dunk and a hit. So I guess what we'll do, Alan, you got a question?
I just want to, where all 3 board members are on the call right now. Joyce, thank you so much for joining. I just wanted to say that I'm on board, and if Tom and Joyce are on board, why don't you work with Jack, and we'll work on a location and a date for September?
Done.
My
Yes.
fellow board members on board with that?
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, and we would, we'd want to try to make it an annual event at about the same time every year. Just the way
Okay.
we, try to do our hazardous waste event. That way there, people expect it, they plan for it, they know it's coming. When they see the mailer or the notice, they're already prepared to take advantage of the event.
That's
Thank
very exciting to hear. Thank you. Okay, I will thank you everyone for listening to us. Thank you again, Rep Murray, for being here tonight, Steve from National Grid, and you guys have a great night, and I'll be in touch with you, Jack.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you
Have a
all
good
very
night.
much.
Great.
Good night, all.
Thank you. for listening.
Thank you, and I'll be available to do whatever is needed to help out.
Oh, I got a job for you, Brian.
I
And
bet
me
you
as
do.
well. Me
Okay.
as well.
Right, good to see you. Have a good night.
Take care.
Thank you. All right, Jack. I'm gonna say we go to item 4, Board of Health updates. Proposed update to dumpster regulations.
Yep, so I did speak with Ellen on Monday, January 9th, about adding the amendment to the current dumpster regulations. She did confirm that adding the amendment does not need another open meeting as long as the board voted in favor of the amendment for the regulations. So after speaking with Ellen and with the unanimous vote from the board, I have included the amendment and had posted it to the Mendon's Board of Health webpage.
Awesome. All right, E.L. Harvey and Sons contract status.
We do have
I'm
a question
sorry.
from,
I apologize.
go ahead, Tisha. Tisha, you're on mute.
Hi, sorry about that. Tisha Lowe from 23 Inman Hill Road. And my question is, so what does one do if they see items being brought in off location? How do we report? Did you hear me?
Alan?
Yeah, I'll respond to that. Call the Board of Health. It's now part of our regulations. We've been advised that it's a hard thing to enforce because obviously you have to witness it. But at this time, I would say that you see it, make a note of the date and time. If for any reason you may see what it is, a toilet, a couch, whatever, you can pick out when you witness it, call the Board of Health and we'll do our best to follow it up. Our hopes are that it being part of the regulations, that people are going to be made aware of it. The dumpster haulers are made aware of it. So we're going to hope to curb it. It's not 100% because, like I said, we've been advised that it can be a hard thing to enforce because it has to be witnessed. But we're going to do our best, Tish, as we always do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joyce?
Well, I would say that, since everybody's got a phone these days, I think that it would be, if you could, and you see something, you film it, and then we've got it right down, and there's no question, I think that would be great. I mean, everybody I know in the world has a telephone these days, especially even the kids that are like 8 years old. So,
No,
I
agree.
think that would be it. Yeah, good.
I mean, that's what brought us to this point, was that I supplied you with videos. And I've been called a stalker for it, but I mean, it's the only reason we're at this point of trying to, fix the problem. So, okay, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Thank you so much.
Very
All right,
welcome.
Tom.
Anybody else?
What was that, Jack? You're
Anybody
calling
else?
on me?
Yeah, I'll just see if you had anything to say.
Oh, sure. Just to support the things you've been doing, Tish, to just continue to do from a monitoring perspective. And given Alan's statement about it being difficult to enforce, that just more lends to the need for the use of technology, irrespective of what somebody wants to use for a term. I wouldn't let that bother you. It is what it is, and from my perspective, I'm more than willing to stand up and challenge somebody who's trying to do something that they shouldn't be doing, and simply out of personal desire. So continue to monitor and keep us, definitely keep us informed in the process. And now that we do have the regulation, we have a good basis for enforcement.
Much appreciated.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
All right, I believe that is the end of the comments for this item.
All right, thank you all. Again, as always, the Board of Health tries to follow up on every call, especially when someone, identifies themselves that that gives us everything we need to attempt to correct the situation. The next update would be E.L. Harvey and Sons contract status.
All right, during the last meeting, we were waiting on the state's prevailing wage for E.L. Harvey to provide us with the new contract for the upcoming fiscal years. Shelley from HR was finally able to get it from the state on Wednesday, January 11th, and I had forwarded that along to Michael Sespian that morning for his final piece of the contract. So I'm hoping to have it available for our next Board of Health meeting, so I'll check with Mike on the progress next week.
Fellow board members, any comments?
Yep, sounds good to me.
No, just I like to I like to get it sooner than later. We're into the end of January, and so we started asking for it 4 or 5 months ago. I know things, need certain things, but I would have liked to have thought by now we would have had some sort of general template or outline from E.L. Harvey, irrespective of the, a couple of specific details like prevailing wage. I don't think we've seen that yet, at least not in document form. I know just in discussion things have been mentioned, but so hopefully it comes sooner than later. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. No, I agree. It is something that we tried to get ahead of, especially where there are no more extensions. So hopefully, as Jack stated, next meeting he is going to have something more concrete for us to make a decision on. The only other comment on that is just a point, Jack, when you're doing the budget. I know our budget sounds like a lot of money, but keep in mind that as far as the E.L. Harvey contract and the contract with Wheelabrator, all that money is generated by the subscribers and not the taxpayers. So when you have your sit down, if you haven't had it yet, just keep that in mind. Because obviously when you look at the total number that the Board of Health manages, it looks like a much larger number than it actually is. And I think the only thing I might not have seen on that or might not have been taken into account is the money that is generated by trash stickers, that I believe that money goes into the town coffers. So I'm not, that might be just a little something that we need to look at, where that should be, that might be another thing that needs to be adjusted as to where that money goes. And that might be something for the future, but related to our trash, I just wanted to bring up those points. Anybody else have any further comments?
I do just want to say, yes, I do agree with you 100%. KBS, which holds all the residential trash accounts, those are the numbers I'll be using to make the subscribers amounts for each cycle. So it's basically going to be users that have trash accounts in the town of Mendon for the numbers I'll be using. And I was speaking with Joyce yesterday about the trash stickers. I'm like, that is a good point that she brought up. I'm like, where is that trash sticker money going? And it should go towards Wheelabrator because that's tonnage being taken away.
Correct. And the other thing is, I think we've talked about this or touched on it, would be a better word, as to whether or not we need to make an adjustment in the price of the trash stickers. I'm not suggesting we do, but obviously we have to cover our expenses. So that may be something we want to look into as the new rate is being set, just to make sure that the $2 fee is in line with, what our costs are. So again, just another thing that to kind of think about that we might want to have a little bit of a discussion on. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking of stickers, with the potential changes that are probably coming from E.L. Harvey's perspective, sticker sales could actually drop anyway because of changes that are coming in general with regard to, potentially going to 64-gallon containers and eliminating, potentially extra bags because you're going to get more bags in a 64-gallon than you would a 30-gallon. So we could automatically see a drop in next year's fiscal cycle. And Jack, I don't know if you know offhand, do you know out of curiosity what our take was monetarily on stickers this past fiscal cycle?
Honestly, I do not. I am trying to figure that out in the old KVS Enterprise, because Springbrook was not recording, I believe January through June. So I got to figure out what the number is in Springbrook, which is our new financial software, compared to what's in KVS. So I am trying to get with Jody to find out where that money's going and how much money is coming in.
How long have we been on Springbrook, out of curiosity?
We started the implementation in July of this last year.
From July. Okay.
Yeah, so
How's that been going?
I'm not crazy about it, but again, I've never used it before, and other people are not crazy about it, but it is what it is. So we just gotta get used to it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, well, just to clear one thing up, Tom, when you're asking about the total amount of money, if you're going by fiscal year, then everything would be on that new software, if I understand it correctly?
No, the money that was brought in. Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, so since we started in July, I'm thinking calendar year. Yes, since we started in July with Springbrook, yes, then current fiscal year would have the right numbers in it. I'm sorry, I was
Okay, and
thinking calendar year.
That's fine. And what I would do is I would compare that number once you get it with the last 2 years, just to get a feel on what the accuracy is.
Okay.
But I thought in the past, and I don't have it in front of me, I thought stickers, trash stickers is a considerable amount of money. It might have been like 10K.
Oh, that's a moolah.
Yeah, it was a considerable amount. I mean, don't hold me to that, but it was more money than I would have believed at $2 a sticker.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you're far off, Alan. I remember in a couple of years past, numbers hitting pretty high with regard to the sticker sales. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, I know that was always
Definitely.
thing.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Joyce. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, definitely we should find out where that money's going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you had a good point there with regard to where it should be going versus I think where it has been going. I think it's been going back to the general fund.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's something that we've touched upon in the past, as we've, worked for a number of years now to try to make sure that things go in the correct pocket. It's rather difficult where at one end we're talking about taxpayer money, and on another end we're talking about subscriber money. And I mean, we've worked at it to try to make both pockets have an accurate amount in them, and that's all we can do is to continue to work in that direction. Thank you.
Well, in the case of the stickers, the only consistent thing there is the subscribers that are getting the stickers because they're on the trash program. So I'd like to see us probably make sure we do a redirection there. I think I don't know why I hadn't thought of that before. I think that was an appropriate use of those funds to offset expenses that were coming from the subscriber side.
No, absolutely. And we have talked about it in the past. It has been brought to our attention in prior years, but it takes a while with municipal government to get some of these things ironed out. again, to make sure that everything goes in the correct pocket. And I think, we've done a good job, and we're definitely heading in that direction of making sure that everything is accounted for appropriately. So, thank you for everyone's hard work. And obviously there's more to do in that area. Thank you.
So here's where I'll quote Larry the Cable Guy. Let's get her done.
I'll get my tool back.
I love it.
Any other comments on the E.L. Harvey and Sons contract status? All right, next item is well regulations. I know that we may not be able to discuss this topic because of Tom Ryder's absence. So I'll turn it over to you, Jack.
Agreed with you that Tom Ryder is absent tonight for personal reasons. So unless you want to have any other thing that's not reasonably anticipated in the 48 hours, any of the board members?
Just curious, Jack, just in follow-up to the incident yesterday when I was in the office there with the resident, did you get any feedback from Mike on that?
Not from Mike, so I emailed Cliff, who's like the second in command over there. Cliff did look into it, and he said it was that Thursday that the truck was broken down. So he is using the truck being broken down excuse why there was a bag left in the barrel.
So because it sounded like the resident was indicating multiple times that had happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Well, just kind of, have you reached back out to the resident to give him an update out of curiosity?
Tomorrow is his trash pickup day, so I was going to call him tomorrow to find out what happened with his trash.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay.
Can I ask
Okay.
what you're talking about?
Yes,
Oh,
there was
sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Jack. You explain.
Yeah, resident on Uxbridge Road. He had like 3 or 4 garbage bags. I believe it was 3 in his barrel. Last Thursday, E.L. Harvey truck broke down, so they had another trash truck that wasn't the same as E.L. Harvey. It was a Dover Trucking, I believe.
Yeah.
And I believe they were using that truck instead, and instead of dumping all 3 bags from the barrel, only 2 came out and 1 was left inside the barrel. But the resident said this happened like a couple of times. So we're trying to figure out why it's happening. But Cliff did say everything should be back to normal for this week. So that's why I was going to wait and talk to the resident tomorrow, as his trash pickup is tomorrow.
Do you have the address on
81 Uxbridge.
81? Thank you.
Yeah, I mentioned to the resident that what he was describing was a bit unusual with regard to trash, because normally, they're basically with the regular trucks, they're picking up, the bags, whatever bags are put out. If they're not in a container, if it's just a trash bag, they just take the bag and they put it in the truck. And if it's inside say a 64-gallon tote, which is what this gentleman has, they just tip that up with the arms, and they're not actually looking in to see what's in there. Last week, as Jack mentioned, was an exception with the style of truck they had. Everything had to be done manually because it was all rear loaded in the back, so they had no use of hydraulics with the arms. But I thought it was interesting when the resident mentioned it's happened a couple of times, and to his credit, he just wanted to make sure he was doing things right, that there wasn't something about what he was doing with his trash disposal was not correct. So that's why I had Jack look into it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Anything else, folks?
Oh,
I'm good.
Nice finally seeing you and talking to you tonight.
What was that, Joyce?
I couldn't get on.
Oh yeah, I actually I'm only on via audio myself. I didn't have access to video PC tonight, so.
It's very nerve-wracking.
All right, I'll tell the truth. The only reason I'm on is because my daughter gets me on. She helps me.
I may have to borrow her.
I got 3 of them, so I'll lend you one.
Oh, I'd love one.
Next meeting?
All right, the next meeting for 2 weeks would be February 1st, Wednesday.
6:30?
Good for me.
Sounds good.
All right. Folks, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And again, there are a lot of things that we've, talked about over the years that we just keep plugging away and keep working on making them right. So I appreciate all the hard work. Again, Jack, nice job on that budget presentation. I really appreciated the pictures. It makes it a lot easier for me to read. It's almost like reading the comics.
That's right. Got to make it interesting, the boring stuff.
No, nice job.
Nothing funny about money.
I know, very true.
All right.
You
folks,
sound like
thank
a
you very much.
curmudgeon.
All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make
move
the
that
motion
we
to adjourn. I beat you to it, Joyce.
Second,
Second,
second, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Good night.
All right, thank you, gentlemen and
Good
Good night,
ladies.
all.
Good night.
Thank you very
Night.
much. All right.